What's your reaction to this study?
You know, every year this time we get the studies and the numbers, and I understand the concern because, what was it, 1975, it was maybe 27% or something like that.
Yep.
First, what I always want to say is we never get the numbers on white baseball players that at one point in 1947 was 100% white, and the numbers have slowly dwindled down. But let's get to the African-American players. And the problem I have here is everybody quickly wants to run out and just say, everybody just wants to play football and basketball, and all the black athletes only want to play football and basketball. And part of that is true, but that's not the reason that you have more Hispanics year in and year out who come into baseball. It's because about 15 years ago, baseball basically outsourced its jobs to Latin America. It decided you reap what you sow. So if you set up baseball clinics and baseball camps in the Dominican Republic and Venezuela and all over, those are the kids you're going to develop. It's pretty simple. If you take those resources and do the same thing, and you want to go down to Georgia or go to the Bronx and sign these kids up and let them play baseball every day, and you start developing kids, you'll have that. A part of the equation, though, is, yes, the AAU. And I've told you this story before, Skip. My nephew, Alvin, I'm not saying he's going to make it to the major leagues, but was a all-star caliber baseball player. But he also could play basketball. His AAU coach said, done. Glove, cleats, get rid of it. We need you to play basketball 24/7, 365. You got to eat, sleep. And so what happens? Baseball gets pushed off, and it's all about basketball.
Isn't that what happened to you?
That's what happened to me. Played baseball all growing up. It was my first sport. Was playing really well, making all-star teams, and a guy came to me that I played basketball against. Like, I'm starting this AAU team. We want to play during the summer. And it was intriguing to me. He's like, we're going to travel. We're going to do all this type of stuff. I was like, cool. I think another point to when it starts, like I know, I would go back and do a camp in my hometown, and other guys who play football and guys who play basketball, you go back to your cities, you go back to the places where you're from, the urban areas. And if you look at it, if we don't have these guys in the major leagues, if the numbers are dwindling there, so are the camps. So are the guys that they can relate to, the people that they can look on who are being pushed. You look at commercials, the guys that are being, you see Reyes, you may see Jeter, A-Rod, Pujols. You don't see the LeBrons, you don't see Kobe, and these faces that are being pushed into our neighborhoods. And so that's who you want to be like, because that's who you see.
Okay. So, Rob, it's interesting because we always get to the bottom line discussion. Is baseball racist? That's what I want to address, because in power positions, general managers, we have 2 and 2 right now, African American. So I say, is this baseball's fault, or are the kids just choosing not to play baseball? And I liked Andrew McCutcheon's quote in a terrific USA Today piece today. And Andrew says, for the African-American community, it's more basketball, it's more football, just the hype of it. It's what people like. Baseball is more laid back. There's not a lot going on. And I've wondered this for years, that, dude, it's to paraphrase the old saying, you can lead a potential star to water, but you can't make him drink. So the RBI programs, the inner city programs, they certainly in the Latin countries, that's all the kids want to do. They'll play with milk cartons for gloves and broomsticks for bats, but in the inner cities, they don't want to play baseball because it's too slow. Is that possible?
It's not. I don't know if it's just too slow. It's that you have to go to the minor leagues. You see these guys coming out of high school, go to the NBA.
What I mean.
It's an instant gratification, and that's what they don't want to put in the work that you have to. But the other part of that is there were many more baseball jobs, and in the NBA, how many guys, Skip, every year get into the NBA? 18,
right.
16 jobs where you fill minor league rosters,
right.
and the chance of moving up. So all these guys who are really good athletes wind up on the sidelines because they don't make it to the NBA because everybody doesn't.
But I think, though, when you look at playing it at its infancy, at its youngest level and at the youngest stages, you don't think about the minors. I know that was something I wasn't thinking about playing baseball. So I'm not even sure if the guys understand you have to go through the minors. But
they see the high school kids going straight from high school
Yeah.
to the NBA, and that's what they see.
But there's a lot of high school kids that get drafted to play. There's more high school kids that get drafted to play baseball every year than play basketball.
I'm a rare one. Growing up, the only thing I ever wanted to do was play first base for the Mets. My favorite player was Ed Kranepool.
But you're a Yankees
but I'm
fan.
all, no, I'm not.
That
On
came
that
later.
note.
You made a good choice sticking with football. It's worked out for you.
Thank you.